All right, I just wanted to speak about this real quick. I'm going to title this video Worldwide Gen Z Rebellion Underway. And, I've been watching a lot of these creators on YouTube, talking about, a whole host of different problems, with this society. But one thing is I always see these TikTok rants that people post on YouTube at like compilation videos will take like, 20 or 30 TikToks and like cram them together in like a, 15, 20-minute video. And, I was watching them and it's very clear that, people are pissed off and are done with this modern, 9 to 5 garbage ass, system set up. And I don't blame them, right? I'm in total agreement. This is bullshit. America, which to be fair, the economy is rough and tough anywhere in the world, right? Anywhere in the world, there's, unfair, um, wages being paid and, a corrupt government. It's not just in America. Let's just get that straight. It's not only America that I'm complaining about here, but let's just focus on that for a moment because, well, most of us watching this video are living in the United States, except for maybe 5% of people watching the video. So, we got to point out, it's like, it's funny out here at a minimal wage. A lot of these places are like, what, $10 an hour? I even seen somebody the other day that was being paid like $7.25. I was thinking to myself, I was like, what the hell, $7.25? I was like, how the hell can they get away with paying you that bullshit? But the truth is, if you factor in that, even the minimal that you get paid, like say if you get $10 an hour, like I know back in Florida, if you were making 10 an hour, they could take tax out of that. So I had to take 8 an hour. That way they don't take any tax out of the 8. But if you make $10, it's just like you're making $8 because they're taking money out of that. So even above quote unquote minimal wage on $10, you're still really making the minimal wage. Just find ways to try to hide that from you so that you don't notice. It's just pathetic. It's like, how the hell is it out here? There's people out here that have to work 2 or 3 damn jobs to barely be able to survive in this society. It doesn't make any damn sense. And, the truth is that my generation, right, Generation Z, we're like the first generation who has a pair of balls to stand up to this corruption. Don't get me wrong. There were some people who came before us who voiced their opinion about the oppression and, um, unfairness of this society. There's been, a handful of them over the course of time, but it's nowhere near, my generation. Where there's a mass rebellion taking place right now. And while it's not, an armed rebellion, which truthfully that should have happened yesterday, because the powers that be, they don't deserve to be. Like hell, everybody sees what's going on, in recent time with all of these ICE riots that are taking place all over the country, right? Hell, but that's a video for another time. I'm not gonna get off on that here. But it's clear that people are pissed off with the way that the country is being ran. Like there's no reason why people need to be working 2 or 3 damn jobs just to pay for a garbage ass 1 bedroom studio apartment. Like this is unacceptable. Who the hell out here is allowing this? Like seriously, if people were to take out to the streets in mass and tell them that you're going to change it or there's going to be problems, they're going to listen to you, right? They're going to take heed to what the masses are saying because they're going to be afraid for themselves. Hey, we might have to, make some concessions to the people, so we don't get toppled out of power. Same thing with what happened in the Roman army, right? There were Romans who rebelled and even joined Spartacus's army, right? Spartacus, look him up, right? He led legions of gladiators, right, and slaves in a rebellion against the Romans, and even some Roman soldiers deflected and joined his army, right? Joined his ranks. Look that up, right? So this is nothing new. This is an ancient history too. There's examples of this taking place. But what I wanted to mention about the Romans is the rulers they spend the equivalents well, in today's day of money, would be like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, damn, we're possibly even billions of dollars in today's usage of money, to make the Roman Colosseum. And then a lot of people don't know that the Colosseum was set up because of the people were, in constant, revolts and riots and, civil unrest. So the leaders decided to give the people entertainment. Just like how today, to take people's minds off of, the struggles of daily life out here and about the economic problems, to give people these sports like wrestling or, football. Hell, we can't forget about the Super Bowl, right? We can't forget about the Super Bowl out here, or all these other, celebrity music festivals. And, the list could keep going on and on and on about all of these different diversions that the people in charge set up to give the people a sense of ease and contempt. Like, hell, well, yeah, I'm pissed off, I gotta work, all these 9 to 5s, but hey, I'll save up so I can, pay $4,000 to go to the Super Bowl. Shit, I remember a couple years ago, there was somebody I knew who spent $1,000 2 times over to go to a Taylor Swift concert for like 4 hours, right? You get to go to not even the front of the area you got to stand. And that's a whole nother point. That, these concerts, most of the time, you don't even get a damn chair. You got to like stand with, hundreds, if not thousands of other people for multiple hours on end, right? But this person spent $1,000 on each ticket to not even, be able to get a meet and greet with Taylor Swift, not even be able to, stand in the front of the row, right? They got to stand probably like what, 6 rows back or something. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows that, well, for one, the people out here don't know how to spend their damn money. But even the people who do, they're not going to get too far with this modern society and how it's set up either, man. I mean, hell, there's statistics coming out now that tell you that like 80% of the population does not even have a $400 put away for a rainy day situation, or, say the car gets a flat tire, needs to be replaced, or, the brakes need to be replaced, or, any type of emergency that might happen, right? Nobody out here, like 80% of the population, does not even have $400 in a emergency fund for any situation that could happen. I mean, wow, that's bad. That's pretty bad to think about. Hell, I don't want to go too far off from the main topic of the video, right? But getting back to the main topic that, I'm seeing all around the world, whether we're talking about in the United States, whether we're talking about in, Britain, or even in China, believe it or not, my generation is starting to rebel. They don't want to work these 9 to 5s for garbage ass pay. And the people in charge are starting to notice that, they got to start doing other things to try to get people into work. Whether that's increasing the wage, or, lowering the daily amount of time that people have to be at work for. And something got to change. I mean, this bullshit ain't going on forever like this, so hell to the no. The only people out here who are actually, living a good life and actually enjoying life are these, well, the older generations, like these baby boomers out here who had a cushioned lifestyle compared to how we today have to live. I mean, you know what? They grew up in a time where a house was like what, 25 grand? And today, a median household out here, just a regular average home out here, is worth like what, 500 or 600 grand, compared to back then being 25, 30 grand. In the 50s. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shit, you older folks, some of you guys, you had it good growing up compared to my generation. Hell, you could, back then, You would just have to work and you could afford to, feed not only yourself, your wife, and your children, and afford to even buy a house and a vehicle off of just working by yourself. But shit, today, hell, you need the husband, the wife, and the children even working, and still, you're not even going to have enough to, well, don't even think about buying a house. I mean, that's not even far off in the future. That's just unimaginable. There's literally nobody out here can buy houses except for like maybe what 1 or 2% of the population. But besides them, nobody has money for houses out here, right? As far as owning a car, shit, half the people out here, are in their 40s and 50s and don't even own a damn car, let alone the damn house that they're living. You know what I'm saying? It's sad and pathetic out here how things are. My generation, they're waking up and seeing this. It's like, hold up a second. What, you're telling me I'm going to bust my balls for nothing? I'm never going to own nothing? Never going to be able to enjoy nothing? And have to pay into this garbage ass system that doesn't care about me? Hell no. Right? So as we see, there's a worldwide rebellion taking place. And this is the beautiful thing. Right? This is showing that, well, the truth is that we're really at the end point of civilization. Civilization has got to such an elevated position right now where it's going to collapse on itself, right? The systems they have in place right now, the bullshit way that this society is ran, it's coming a day where there's going to be a day of reckoning, right? Or in other terms you might have heard, another analogy is the straw that broke the camel's back. That's the day we're approaching, right? A straw's about to be broke that's going to bring this entire nation, entire world to its knees. And we're approaching that day very soon. Hell, say, for instance, on one hand, the Third World War is around the corner. You got literally conflict in like every different region of the world at this point. You got the Israel and Iran situation, Israel and Gaza. Of course, the largest land war in 80 years. Russia attacking Ukraine. You got that going on today with no damn end in sight. You got in Haiti, you got the nations, what's the word I'm looking for? The gangs, excuse me. You got the gangs in Haiti that are taking control of the country. How much other shit's going on down in Africa. The truth is that a lot of wars in the world are not reported on your nightly news. They only talk about some of like the top conflicts in the world. And even among them, they're putting them on the back burner. But you're not being told everything that's taking place in the world. Sometimes you got to go to these other news websites and medias in order to, keep up with what's going on, in different areas of the world. Like, say, for instance, like on the news, you're not going to hear about the gang wars going on in Haiti. You're not going to hear about the wars happening down in Africa right now as I speak. You're not going to hear about this on the nightly news. You got to look in other sources for it. But the point that I'm getting at is that, the way things are today, it can't be this way for much longer. And anybody that's not willing to acknowledge that, that person is just in blissful ignorance. Like, say, for instance, how is it out here that somebody has to work 2.5 hours to afford a damn Jersey Mike's sandwich for like $25? It's like, what the hell? You're telling me I got to bust my balls for 2.5 hours to get a damn sandwich, let alone not even a damn cookie or drink on the side? I mean, come on. This is bullshit. I saw a TikTok the other day, which, by the way, I don't use TikTok, but I saw somebody re-uploaded it on YouTube, so that's how I saw it. But what this guy did is he wanted to do a challenge, right? A grocery store challenge. And he said, okay, well, let's see what I can get with $10 in Walmart, right? And this is in America, by the way. So the guy went to Walmart with $10, and all he could get is literally like the cheapest bread you've ever seen and a carton of like 18 eggs for $10. right? Both of them put together were like $10, right? The bread was like, what, $3, and the eggs were like, $7. And there's probably even tax on these things as well. I just rounded up to $10 because it probably went a little bit over. But the point is, it's like, wow, that's such a bullshit. So people are out here making 10 an hour, and all they can afford with that 60 minutes of service is literally a pack of eggs and bread. I mean, you can't even get damn oatmeal with that to go on the side, or applesauce. I mean, wow, this is crazy out here, man. But I've seen other countries in the world, like some developing countries. On YouTube, you watch some of these travel vlog channels like Christmas List or the Indigo Traveler or Bald and Bankrupt or Drew Binsky. And I've seen some of these guys do like challenge videos where they see, well, what can $10 get in Ghana, or what can $10 get in Brazil, or so on and so forth. And usually you'd be surprised with how much you can get there. Like I saw this one video, I believe the guy went to Sudan and he got like, free beers, a necklace, and, a dinner for two for $10 in total. It's like, wow, for all that for $10. I mean, shit, over here in the States, all that must be like, well, shit, if we're talking about, going out to eat anywhere for two people, I mean, that's like, what, $60, $70, depending on where you're going? Hell, that's a whole day's pay right there. And that's sad and pathetic. Like, how the hell is a whole day's worth of pay just enough to go out with somebody else to a dinner for, 2 hours? And don't even get me started about throwing in, a couple shots or an alcohol beverage in there. That we're talking about easily nearly a damn $100. You know what I'm saying? It's just pathetic how everything is out here. It's sad and pathetic, how everything is. But I don't want to make the video too drawn out. I just want to go on a quick rant, and I'll wrap the video up there.